I'm Jordan Hadfield. This is Faster Film Critic. Today on the show, we talk Open Range with Kolter and Chase Fugel. Open Range is a Western from 2003 directed by Kevin Costner, starring Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall. Smell that? Do you smell that? That's napalm, son. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, I know, different film, but same badass actor. Get in. We're going cinephile'n. Well, howdy, gentlemen.
Howdy, failers.
What up?
Guys, I'm feeling a little bit sad today.
Yeah, why is that?
Why is that?
Well,
A little sad.
Open up to us there, big guy. What's going on?
Robert Duvall died.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Some actors, when they pass, like you feel it.
I loved Robert Duvall.
I always felt like when you watch him in just about anything, man, there's something about him. He's got a quality. He feels like a member of your family or somebody. He reminds you like an uncle or a grandpa. There's just something special about his performances. And yeah, he kind of plays a lot of the same type of characters, but he was so good at it.
Absolutely. He was so good at it, and he left a really big mark on cinema.
Oh, dude, yeah.
This guy has played in over 90 films. He's
nuts.
got over 90
my gosh.
acting credits.
Yeah,
90.
that's crazy.
And some of these roles are classic.
Oh, yes.
I got to ask, what's your favorite Robert Duvall film?
For me, this is easy. The Godfather Part 1.
Okay, sure. It is easy.
It's safe. It's easy.
Yeah, but it's...
How can you
it's-
say anything else, though?
But it's legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Phenomenon with John Travolta?
Yeah, I have, and I actually really like that film.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one.
It is a weird one, but it's fun. It's a good film.
Yeah, then there's one scene that stands out to me. Like,
Is it the scene where Dr. Robert Duvall moons John Travolta?
no,
Is that your favorite scene?
no, it's a good one though. So John Travolta gets hit by a bolt of lightning, and he's imbued with these mysterious powers, telekinesis and shit like that. Travolta's character moves something across the desk with his mind, and there's just a reaction that Robert Duvall has in that moment. His character it's just so believable, and it adds so much to like what it would be like to witness something like that in real life. And I don't know, man. That's just how he was. He was very nuanced, but he was so natural and so believable. And he's one of those few actors where it feels like you know him, that he's like a friend or a family member almost, because he's just so genuine.
I agree, Kolter. And again, to talk about favorite Robert Duvall films, I mean, there's so many you can choose from.
Yep.
He played in The Godfather. He played in Apocalypse Now.
Yep.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yep.
Tender Mercies, The Apostle. Of course,
Yep.
Phenomenon.
Yeah.
Do you know what Lonesome Dove? How do you forget Lonesome Dove?
Yeah.
Do you know what one of my favorite roles of Robert Duvall is, though?
Tell us.
Open Range, guys. Open Range.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a damn good one.
It is a good one. I recognize that it is not his most culturally impactful role,
Sure.
but he does so much for this movie.
He does.
Love his role.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Open Range. What'd you
Yeah.
guys think?
Love this movie. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and much like Unforgiven, was kind of in a bit of a dead space in terms of westerns. There wasn't a ton of good westerns coming out, and this is among my favorites. I mean, this is a very like unpretentious movie that does almost exactly what it sets out to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it absolutely accomplishes what it sets out to do. A couple things I love about this film.
Yeah.
Number one, it is in no hurry to impress you.
No.
You open up and you're out on the range with these two cowboys, and it almost romanticizes the way it tells the story, at least in the opening.
Sure.
You know, the shot that's kind of looking up at the dog on the hill with the clouds in the background, and it's almost Hallmark-esque in some places.
Yeah.
In some of the shots, you know what I mean? The soundtrack, in my opinion, we'll get into this, but I think the soundtrack is the weakest part of the whole film. But it's just a little bit borderline cheesy. It's definitely like romanticizing the range.
Yeah.
You know, the open range.
There's a wholesomeness in the beginning that slowly crumbles away as the story goes along.
Yeah, and it starts out, it almost kind of sits you in the dirt and lets you feel the wind from the open space. But you know that there is trouble ahead. Danger is a brewing. And it is slowly growing. And the film is very patient in that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And it's also very consistent. It just slowly grows. The tension just slowly builds over time. And I love that about this film.
Yes.
So I watch a lot of movies with my brother. In fact, he's been on this podcast. He was on the Bones and All episode. And I have tremendous respect for his taste in movies.
You sure about that?
I'm sensing a butt.
No buts.
Oh.
No, I mean, he's a butt, but the sentence doesn't have a butt.
Correct.
And he found Open Range to be too cheesy. In fact, he only gave it 2 stars. I think that he wanted a little bit more grit and maybe a little bit more dirt in the film and the story, if you know what I mean. I'm guessing at this point, but gave it 2 stars. He definitely described it as too cheesy. And man, I could not disagree with him more on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what he's saying. I see where he's coming from. He's not wrong by saying the film is cheesy. Where he's wrong is by saying it's cheesy and it's only worth 2 stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the film is a little bit cheesy in places, but to me, I find it a little bit charming. I mean, the film shouldn't work because it's just so simple.
It's very nuanced, yeah.
Yeah, it's so simple, particularly in the early stages of the film. It's very, very simple. The characters are pretty straightforward, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
But to me, there's something about it that just really, really works.
Yeah, again, that's kind of it's not pretentious. Comparing this, I guess Unforgiven's an easy thing to compare this to. Or Unforgiven is very much down in the muck. It's a story about aging and trying to shed one's awful, violent past. And there's a little bit of that in this. But yeah, I think it's well said, Jordan. Like it respects its audience. It is kind of bookended with 2 slices of cheese. You're not wrong. It kind of begins in a cheesy way and it ends in a cheesy way. If I had any say, if I had any influence, or if I had a nitpick, it'd be that we could probably tighten up a little bit of that, especially towards the end. But
I agree. Chase, what did you think?
yeah,
I've never tried cheese as a bookend, but honestly, I had the exact same takeaway as you, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you. It was like, yeah, I could probably turn that one on again after a long day of work, just wanting to relax. The violence isn't that heavy. I think that's what stuck out to me most, even in the climax where there's the whole massive shootout. It doesn't feel very heavy. It almost borders on hokey for a second there when they're all just firing at each other.
Yeah. I love that. I love the chaos of that gun battle.
But actually, the part where I can't remember who it is exactly, but he comes up and grabs Sue, and Charlie just shoots him.
Oh yeah.
Right away, and he has both the pistols. That part was pretty brutal, and I think that was my favorite part of the film. That was just like a quick little.
Okay.
Really dark compared to the rest of the violence.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the shootout, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
Because there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot to talk about regarding that shootout. But
the movie's kind of broken into like setup of the characters and plot and what's going on, and then it's like you're kind of there for. These are the 2 reasons people love this movie is that, you know, the end shootout and then just the slow burn building up to it.
So, Chase, you found the film a little bit too heavy on the cheese. It wasn't your flavor of cheese, it sounds like, early in the film. Did you feel the tension building? Would you agree with that? Did you feel the movie slowly just tightening the noose around your neck?
Not so much, but I knew it was happening. I don't think this film had anything super unpredictable, so I didn't feel the noose tightening so much as I saw it tightening.
Okay. He didn't feel it, but he saw it.
Yeah.
Either way, he's going to hang.
Yeah.
Well, Chase, that makes me a little bit sad. I'm not going to lie. Kevin Costner, man.
Kevin Costner directed this, but he did not write it.
No, didn't write it. It's based on a novel called The Open Range Men by Lauren Payne.
Okay, that sounds familiar. And I never know how much influence the director has over like the cinematography of a movie like this. Although I know for sure that when we get to that big gun battle at the end, one of the reasons why it's frequently lauded is because it's shot wide. You can make really good sense of what's going on, and that's important because you know it's become kind of a typical thing that modern films shoot action so close up that you can't tell what the hell's going on. The screen direction's just awful. And with this, it's very calculated and very effective. And Chase, obviously, you didn't see this in the theaters, but Jordan, did you watch this in the theaters when it came out?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I wasn't even born.
Yeah.
You were born in 2003? What year were you born?
2006.
You were born in 2006?
God damn.
Holy cow.
I remember the first gunshot you hear in the theater. I pissed my little panties. I mean, it was so loud. It was the first time I thought, Jesus Christ, like it really had a punch to it that, man, it was effective. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but
Me neither.
It seems like that was the most impactful part of the film for you. Because when we brought it up last week, that's what you said too.
well, you're waiting so long to see these anti-open rangers get their comeuppance after killing their friend and nearly killing their other friend. At the time you see, the infamous scene where they're Blue Bonnet, which I love. I love that little moment before they get in the firefight where they're like, all right, before we go do this, we should tell each other our real names. And he's like, my name is something postal weight, not weight.
Damn it, boss, I'm asking you straight.
Yeah. And then Robert Duvall's like, no, I don't want to do this. He's like, I don't want to tell you my name. And he tells him his name. He goes, it's Blue Bonnet. Don't you tell anybody it's Blue Bonnet. It's just a cool little character moment. A little tension break right before what becomes a pretty chaotic scene.
I do think that Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall are the perfect actors for this film. I think their chemistry in this film is really what makes it work.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say that both Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall are magnificent. It is Robert Duvall who's really the key component.
Absolutely.
He brings something to this film. He brings an intangible, and I don't know that any other actor could have pulled it off like Robert Duvall did.
No.
He's a hard man. He's a stern man. He doesn't put up with bullshit. He's a man of morals.
Yeah.
He's not very complex. He's very simple.
No.
And typically that's not something I appreciate when we're talking about main characters, but here it just works.
Yeah.
And I love the relationship between these two old cowboys. Last week you mentioned Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
And there's some chemistry between those two characters as well. But these guys, man.
Yeah. Maybe not quite the same kind, but you never know.
It's
Different
still
world
there.
back then. It's still there.
Very strong.
It's still there.
Very strong chemistry between these two cowboys. I love it. And there's a couple scenes that I just really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Number one, they kill poor Mose and the dog.
Yeah. Oh, man. I
burying
was
him.
not happy about that.
Nope, me neither.
You
Nobody
don't do
was.
that. You don't do that.
Nobody was. But Charlie turns to Boss and he says, mind if we say a prayer? Mind if we have a few words, right?
Yeah.
And I think that Boss Spearman's response to this is just so funny. He says, you want to speak to the man upstairs? Go on and do it. I'll stand right here and listen, hat in hand. But I ain't talking to that son of a bitch. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
I love Robert Duvall in this film. It's one of my favorite roles of him ever. Then there's the scene when they get to the bar. Charlie and Boss have come into town now. They've declared their plans for revenge on Baxter and his men. And they go into the bar to order a drink.
Yeah.
And the bartender won't serve him. And Charlie slams the glass into the side of the bartender's head, and he comes up all pissed off saying, look, I couldn't serve you if you were Jesus himself. Like, Baxter owns this bar. He'd have me shot.
Yeah.
And Charlie Waite pulls out a shotgun and shoots the sign. There's the no varmints, no vagrants sign in the background.
Yeah.
And he blasts it with his scatter gun.
Yeah.
Boom! Right there in the bar, and everyone kind of steps back. For some reason, that scene to me drew me to the edge of my seat. It's simple.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is about that scene, but I absolutely love that scene. And every time it comes on, I am right there on the edge of my seat.
Oh, yeah. No, it's those moments like that work so well. It's not necessarily gratuitous and gives us a little chance to see that the local townsfolk aren't of the same ilk or the same mindset as some of the sheriff and their gang. They're not so anti-open range. And this was a time period in which open rangers were coming up against people who owned property and had it fenced off and didn't take kindly to open rangers. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to see the townsfolk kind of slowly come to their aid and their side and realize that these people are just a bunch of bastards. And yeah, that one and the other scene where they confront the sheriff in that little cafe area, and Robert Duvall kind of takes the lead there and pretty much tells him what's up and like, hey, this is gonna happen if some things don't change. And it's like, he's always just so goddamn believable, man.
I agree. Another thing I really appreciate about this film is there's clearly some significant history with these two old cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Particularly Charlie Waite. But it doesn't get into it too much. Like, it avoids the temptation of exposition.
Yeah.
It gives you an idea of what it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't over-expound, what he's dealing with. Instead, it just lets you sit with the consequences of his history.
Yeah.
And so you see him fighting these internal demons, but it doesn't really get into it.
No.
In any significant way. And I really appreciated that about the film. These cowboys are clearly rough and tough, and they've got a past that's sometimes difficult for them to deal with, but you're watching them privately deal with it.
Yeah, and the only way that they knew how to do back then. And these characters are so well realized because not just that it leaves a little bit of mystery for the audience to kind of fill in those blanks, but the way that Charlie and Boss kind of defer to each other depending on the circumstance, I thought was just such a cool way to show how much trust is built between the two of them. Because most of the time, Charlie's going, Boss, whatever you want to do, whatever you think. But when it's time for shit to hit the fan, Boss looks at Charlie and he's like, okay, how do you want to play this? You're the one who's been to war. You're the one this is your world. And yeah, I've been, he's been in some tussles, but nothing like this. Boss knows when to kind of defer to Charlie for certain situations. It's just such a cool dynamic.
And the side characters were really good.
Yeah.
There was another thing that I thought was really interesting, and that is one of Baxter's biggest henchmen is Butler, played by Kim Coates. And he's the one that Mose, he broke his arm in the bar. The fight really started between Mose and Butler.
Yeah.
And they kind of set Butler up to be the meanest of the bunch.
Yeah.
At least the scariest, the most dangerous of the bunch. And when Butler finally makes his appearance at the end of the film, you expect it to be grand. You expect him to have a significant part in this gunfight.
Yep.
Instead, Charlie walks right up, and he's only on screen for a minute. He just chuckles a couple of times, is all the guy's got time to do.
Yeah.
Charlie walks right up and boom, shoots him right in the head, right between the eyeballs, and he falls down. And it's just like so unexpected because they set you up to think he was going to be so impactful in this final gunfight, and yet they just totally subverted your expectations.
That's the perfect way to put it. Yeah, it was kind of a bold move to not have seen that character until this scene. And then, you are led to believe, he's good with a gun, he's fast. They kind of make a light mention of it before that showdown. But, man, it's one of those moments where you're like, if everything I've been led to believe about this character is true, he's going to walk right up to this guy and just take him out. And it's just awesome when it happens. I mean, it's just so fulfilling to be like, oh, yeah. And then from there, it's just, the gunfight's on, and it's perfect chaos, I think.
And not only are you surprised at how quickly Butler got his, but you can tell that everyone else in that scene is surprised. Oh, shit.
Right. Including Boss. Boss is like,
here
oh,
we
shit,
go.
it's it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Love that. Let's talk about the gunfight for a second. Chase, you described it as, if I'm going to paraphrase, anticlimactic.
No, not anticlimactic, but it was pretty chaotic. And there was a lot of people shooting a lot of guns that were pretty crappy.
Yeah, sure.
So call me crazy. I'm going to say this is the best gunfight in all modern Westerns.
And you're not the only one. And I agree with you. There's just something about it, man, that's like...
Really?
If some shit was going to go down, they mentioned... This is one thing that I loved about Unforgiven that they don't necessarily touch on in this. He's like, when the shit starts, people are going to panic. They're not going to aim. They're not going to choose their targets. It's like, it's not going to go down the way you think it's going to go down. And obviously we kind of see that in this movie. I just love it. There's that white shot. All you see is puffs of smoke going in opposite directions. And I'm like, I would have to think that's how it would go. Like as soon as somebody fires that first shot, and then it's just like, it's on. Like everyone's shooting at everyone. I just thought, that's exactly what would happen. And that's I think the part of the film too, where the romance or the romanticized, we're used to seeing like the good guy and bad guy hide behind wooden barrels and poke their head up and throw their bullets out of the gun at the bad guy. And this was not that. This was people getting blown out of their boots with scatter guns and awesome.
Yeah, I think Chase described it as chaotic. 100% agree with that. It is chaotic. There's mud, and there's panic, and there's courage, and there's ugly consequences, People are missing, and people are getting shot and falling wrong, and the sound design, you mentioned the sound design. The sound design is phenomenal. When that first scattergun goes off, oh, man, even if it sounds low, man, you're jumping, because it is just boom. Yeah. It is huge, and it feels frighteningly real. There's something about the scene that just feels real, like most other gunfights haven't been able to accomplish in the same way.
Right.
Again, it's one of my favorite gunfights in all of cinema. I just think it is absolutely fantastic.
And there's these little tidbits of levity here and there. Like there's the guy with the crazy beard who kind of is in charge of the stables. He's kind of calling out, hey, there's 4 dudes coming down this alley.
Are you talking about Percy?
Yeah, Percy. Yeah, Percy.
Percy, by the way, played by Michael Jeter, is another one of my favorite characters in this movie. He is so good. I absolutely love Percy's character.
Yeah, he hobbles over to the guys like mid-gunfight, and they're like, would you get shot? He's like, no, I haven't been in a gunfight in forever, and I fell backwards and f***ed my ankle up or something. It was like,
and he says, well, it was that damn Cuban cigar got me all riled up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. I mean, I loved it. I mean, it is different. Chase, I think to your point, it is different than what some other things that we've seen before. But I kind of like the rawness and the chaos of it.
But Chase didn't.
Yeah, Chase.
No, I didn't like it as much as you guys did. I wish I did.
That's all right.
Because I'm on the outside.
That's all right.
Looking
man.
in right now.
Shit, that's.
Is it lonely out there, Chase?
It is lonely out here.
Oh,
It's like a nice, big, open, and empty range.
Yeah, all by yourself. All by your onesie. I do think that the soundtrack in this is the only weakness that I can point to.
Yeah, and maybe the length a little bit. Like I said, if I were to trim anything, I would trim maybe the last few minutes. I don't know. It seemed a little schmaltzy.
It works for me. I'm not going to disagree with that at all, but for me, it just works. I love it. I love this film. This is one of my all-time favorite Westerns.
Yeah, I can see why, and I would agree with you.
It doesn't have a lot of the attributes that I love, particularly in the character writing. There's not a lot of complexity. The story is very simple. The movie moves slow. It's patient.
Yeah.
There are more exciting Westerns, for sure.
Yeah.
But all of this movie, as it builds throughout, to set up that final stand, that gunfight, I just think it is so incredibly...
gangster.
It is so incredibly gangster. I love it, man. I love it. I love this film. Well, let's go ahead and rate Open Range on a scale of 1 to 5. What do you guys give it?
I hesitate to criticize this film because you're right. I think it is very aware of what it is. It's simple. It's not trying to be morally and thematically heavy. It is what it is, and I don't want to nitpick it. But I do want to return to it. I thought it was a fun, nice Western that I could turn on. Not like an Unforgiven.
It's got some weight.
I'll watch that one once every 2 years and feel it for the next month, probably.
Right.
I'm going to give this one a nice, simple 3.5.
Okay, that's actually higher than I expected you to give it. 3.5?
I enjoyed
That
it.
is better than your average film. I will take that.
Hells yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that it's not terribly complex, Jordan. It's not. What I think it does really good is subtlety. It bears repeating that I think it's a very unpretentious story, and it's patient. It respects its audience. It's very well set up, and you can't help but love individual characters and also the chemistry, the dynamics between, especially Charlie Postal Waite, and Boss Perlman, a.k.a. Blue Bonnet. Still hilarious. I hadn't seen this movie in many, many years. I remember being pretty blown away in the theater by it. It stands up. Like, Unforgiven, I think, is still one of probably the most perfect, especially modern revisionist Westerns. This is not a far cry from that, so I would land at a 4.5. It doesn't get that half a point, Jordan, is the stuff that you've pointed out, that the score could be a little more punchier, and then it's just got maybe a teaspoon or two too much of that Hallmark feel at the beginning and the end. But, man... it's a great ride with a great crescendo, with a one of the, I think, cinema's best gunfights, at least for a Western. One of the best, if not the best. So 4.5, partner.
So I find Open Range to be incredibly confident in its simplicity, and I absolutely love it. I think this film is magnificent. Some moments are romanticized in a way that might be corny, that might be Hallmark-ish, but the pressure keeps building all the same. And when the story finally hits its violent stride, it does so with skill and vengeance and a realism that tightens the tension even further. I already said the gunfight is one of my favorite in all of the genre. I think Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall are magnificent.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Robert Duvall.
Hell yeah, man.
I think the supporting cast is magnificent. And I think this is one of the most masterful modern Westerns we have. Guys, I love this film. I'm giving it 5 stars.
Shit.
We want to know, what did you think of Open Range? Please tell us.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Open Range, I want to shout out another 2003 release that couldn't be more different tonally, but shares a kind of sincerity. I've been diving back into Linklater lately, and there's just something about his films I love. And I am, of course, talking about the film School of Rock. Released the same year as Open Range, totally different genre, but they have a similar, wholesome sentimentality. It's just a really good feel-good movie. Check it out.
Thank you for listening to Faster Film Critic, and please join us next week when we talk Scream 7, I believe? 8, 9? Gosh, these things just go on forever. It's the new one. We're watching the new one, Scream 7. You can also follow us on Letterboxd, Cinetrack, and Instagram. Email us at fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com. Hit us up with questions, comments, feedback, review requests, and share this episode with your movie-loving friends.